Hold on tight, because the walls of the Montecito fortress just took a direct hit. From the one force of nature that PR spin cannot control, we are not talking about a tabloid leak. We are not talking about a royal decree. We are talking about Adele. The woman who can silence a stadium with a single breath has reportedly silenced the Duchess of Sussex with a rejection so cold, so absolute, and so public within the industry that it has effectively redrawn the map of Hollywood's A-list for months. The rumors of Meghan Markle's grand comeback have been swirling. We've heard about the lifestyle brand, the cooking show, the political ambitions. But every comeback needs a launch. Every queen needs a coronation. And sources close to the Sussex camp confirmed that Meghan has been planning a philanthropic gala to end all galas, an event designed to reassert her dominance, wash away the Spotify failure, and position her as the matriarch of American royalty. She needed a headliner. She didn't want a pop star. She wanted a legend. She wanted the voice that screams authenticity, because that is the one currency Meghan is desperate to borrow. She sent the invite to Adele. Now usually, these things are handled by agents. A polite scheduling conflict is issued. The game is played. But according to insiders in the British music scene, Adele didn't play the game. She didn't send a scheduling excuse. She reportedly sent a message that has rippled through the hills of Los Angeles like an earthquake. The message was simple, brutal, and final. I do not perform for people I do not trust. You are not welcome in my circle anymore. To understand the weight of this, you have to understand the atmosphere of the relationship that just died. Adele and Meghan were supposed to be neighbors. They were supposed to be the British expats club of Beverly Hills and Montecito. There was a time when they were seen as allies, to women who took on the British press and won. But the atmosphere has shifted from camaraderie to a frozen, hostile silence. Witnesses describe the reaction in the Sussex household as nuclear. Meghan is used to people saying no quietly. She is not used to people saying no because of her character. Adele didn't reject the event. She rejected the person. She drew a line in the sand that separates the talent from the celebrity, the authentic from the curated. The rejection creates a sensory nightmare for Meghan's brand. Adele is earthy, raw, unpolished, and universally loved. Meghan is polished, scripted, rehearsed, and polarizing. By publicly distancing herself, Adele has effectively stamped a warning label on Meghan's forehead for the rest of Hollywood. Toxic. Do not touch. You can feel the panic in the air. This gala was supposed to be the moment the Hollywood freeze-out ended. It was supposed to be the night the Obamas, the Clooneys, and the Beyoncés returned to the fold. But if Adele, the woman who famously hates the game, won't show up, who will? The silence from Adele's camp is not emptiness. It is a judgment. It is the sound of a door slamming shut, locking Meghan out of the one room she has spent her entire life trying to enter. The room where people are famous for what they do, not who they married. Now we need to look at the ask. We need to take a deep dive into why Meghan needed Adele so badly, and why this specific rejection destroys the impossible logic of the Sussex rebrand. Meghan Markle is currently fighting a war on two fronts, the royal front and the Hollywood front. She is losing both. Her agency, WME, has reportedly been tearing their hair out trying to find a project that sticks. The American Riviera Orchard launch was met with confusion. The jams, the dog biscuits, it all feels small. Meghan needs something big. She needs to borrow gravitas. Adele represents the ultimate get. She rarely performs. She doesn't do charity red carpets for the sake of photos. She sings when she has something to say. For Meghan to ask Adele to perform at a gala that is essentially a PR vehicle for herself shows a fundamental misunderstanding of who Adele is. The deep dive into the planning of this event reveals the hubris. Sources suggest the event was being pitched to Netflix as a special. There were rumors of cameras, of behind-the-scenes access, of micking up the guests. This is where the impossible logic kicks in. Meghan wanted to use Adele, a woman who famously protects her privacy, like a guard dog as content for a reality show disguised as a documentary. Did she really think Adele wouldn't see the cameras? Did she really think the woman who sued paparazzi for taking photos of her son would sign a release form for a Sussex PR stunt? The audacity of the request highlights the transactional nature of Meghan's world. In Meghan's mind, friendship is an exchange of value. I give you a title adjacency. You give me a performance. But Adele operates in a different economy. She operates in the economy of soul. She doesn't need Meghan's title. She has 16 Grammys and an Oscar. She is royalty in a way Meghan will never be because her kingdom is built on talent, not marriage. The report on the event itself is damning. Insiders say the charity aspect was vague. The ticket prices were exorbitant. It had all the hallmarks of the Archewell model: high overhead, low impact, maximum visibility for the founders. Adele, who does her charity work quietly, often without her name attached, likely looked at the proposal and saw exactly what it was: a set, a stage, a prop. And let's look at the timing. This comes right after the Jam scam, the soft launch that went nowhere. It comes right after the Hollywood Reporter called her Duchess difficult. Meghan needed a human shield. She needed to stand next to someone so beloved that the glow would reflect onto her. She wanted to absorb Adele's likability by osmosis. But the rejection exposes the forensic truth about Meghan's standing in the industry. The A-list talks. They have group chats. They have dinners where phones are banned. And the consensus, validated by Adele's refusal, is that Meghan is a leak risk. She is a content farmer. She harvests relationships for Netflix minutes. Adele's refusal to perform isn't just about singing. It's about not wanting to be part of the grift. It's about looking at the Sussex operation, the constant selling of private moments, saying, "I don't recognize this as honest." The deep dive proves that Meghan didn't just lose a singer, she lost the ultimate character witness. If the most real person in Hollywood thinks you're fake, the argument is over. To understand the fury behind Adele's not welcome message, we have to uncover the hidden connection. This isn't just about a gala. This is about a friendship that started in London, moved to Los Angeles, and died in the tabloids. We have to go back to the Grenfell Tower tragedy. This was the initial bond. Adele was on the ground, comforting victims, quietly, without cameras. Meghan released a cookbook, with cameras. At the time, it seemed they were on the same page. When Meghan and Harry moved to California, Adele was one of the first to welcome them. There were reports of private Pilates classes. There were whispers of late-night dinners, but then the leaks started. Sources close to the British music circle suggest that Adele began to notice a pattern. Things she said to Meghan in confidence about her divorce, about her weight loss journey, about her anxiety, started appearing in blind items or were alluded to in Sussex-friendly press. The hidden connection. Here is the violation of the sanctity of the inner circle. For celebrities of Adele's level, the inner circle is sacred. It is the only place they can be normal. They rely on a code of silence that is stricter than the mafia. You do not talk to the press. You do not leverage the friendship, Meghan. Coming from the world of cable TV and hustling for roles, allegedly never understood this code. To her, a famous friend is a press release waiting to happen. The story goes that Adele invited Meghan and Harry to a private dinner, a no-phones evening. Days later, details of the menu, the conversation, and the vibe were leaked to a magazine. She knows who was in the room. She knows who the leak was. There is also the Harry connection. Adele has known Harry for years, long before Meghan. She knew him as the fun, chaotic, but genuine prince. Insiders say she has watched him withdraw, watched him lose his spark, watched him become a shadow in his own marriage. The phrase, "not welcome in my circle," suggests a protective stance over Harry. It implies that by cutting off Meghan, she is also, tragically, having to cut off the friend she once knew because he comes as a package deal. We also have to talk about the Oprah effect. Adele did an interview with Oprah. Meghan did an interview with Oprah. But look at the difference. Adele talked about her art, her pain, her divorce, and took accountability. Meghan talked about titles, security, and blamed everyone else. The hidden connection is the clash of values. Adele saw Meghan use the same platform she used, but for destruction rather than healing. The secret past of their friendship is littered with these small betrayals. The time Meghan allegedly asked Adele to endorse a product. The time she allegedly asked for an introduction to a producer. Every interaction was an ask. Every text was a transaction. The final straw, the hidden connection that broke the camel's back, was likely the realization that Meghan sees Adele not as a human being, but as an algorithm boost. In the data-driven world of the Sussexes, Adele is just high-value and Adele, who writes songs about the rawest, most painful human emotions, found that unforgivable. She didn't just close the door. She changed the locks. We have reached the verdict, the final act of this social tragedy, and the verdict is that the domino effect has begun. Adele is the first domino, but she is the heavy one. When the heavy domino falls, the rest follow. Adele's rejection gives permission to the rest of Hollywood to stop pretending. For a long time, the liberal elite of Hollywood felt they had to support Meghan. She was the victim. She was the anti-racist crusader. It was politically incorrect to criticize her. But Adele is untouchable. She is universally loved across all demographics. If Adele says Meghan is out, then it is safe for everyone else to say it too. We are already seeing the schadenfreude climax. The Clooneys have vanished. The Beckhams have been markled and are gone. Oprah has distanced herself. Tyler Perry is quiet. The circle is shrinking until it is just a dot. The verdict is that Meghan Markle has officially become radioactive in the one zip code that matters. She wanted to be the Queen of Hollywood. She bought the house. She bought the clothes. She hired the agents. But she couldn't buy the respect. The industry runs on talent and trust. Meghan has shown she has neither. She is a content creator without content, and a friend without loyalty. The comeback gala will likely still happen. But look at the guest list. It won't be Adele. It won't be Beyoncé. It won't be the A-list. It will be the influencers, the reality stars, the people who are also desperate for a headline. Meghan will stand on that stage, smiling her frozen smile, talking about community and uplifting women. While the woman who actually uplifts millions with her voice sits at home, drinking wine, surrounded by real friends, having a laugh. Completely unbothered. The silence of the A-list is the ultimate punishment. Meghan is shouting into a void. She is sending invites that go straight to the shredder. The crown in this case isn't the British monarchy. It is the crown of authenticity that Adele wears. And she has decreed that Meghan is a pretender. The tragedy for Harry is immense. He gave up his military friends, his school friends, and his royal family for this new life in Hollywood. He was told they would be dining with kings and queens of the industry. Now, he finds himself blacklisted by the very people he thought would embrace him. He is alone in a mansion, with a wife who is frantically dialing numbers that no longer connect. Adele's no echoes louder than any song she has ever sung. It is the soundtrack to the end of the Sussex illusion. The curtain has fallen, the house lights are up, and the audience, the real audience, has already left the building. Meghan Markle is performing to an empty room, and no amount of PR spin can fill the seats that Adele left empty.